Welcome to the Saturday edition of the Fairbanks Evening News. Today is March 15th, 2014. I'm Holly Seiler, leading our news tonight. The Alaska Senate Education Committee moved Governor Sean Parnell's education bill Friday after rejecting amendments offered by the committee's lone Democrat. Committee. Democrat Berta Gardner from Anchorage offered 2 amendments to Senate Bill 139 in an attempt to prevent the forcing of a charter school upon the local school district by the state school board. Her 3rd amendment attempted to raise the per pupil allocation rate by $404 in the first year and tie it to the inflation rate for the following years. Some of those testifying say the $85 increase in the base student allocation proposed by the governor was not enough.
In the past 4 years, we have reduced the number of teachers in our district by 20%, while student enrollment has decreased by only 3%. The $404 BSA increase proposed in Senate Bill 147 would eliminate the deficit we are currently projecting and protect our staffing levels in current programs. For the sake of comparison, an $85 BSA increase, as included in Senate Bill 139, we are facing a $1.6 million deficit, which may be met through the reduction of 10 teacher positions and a further 9 support staff positions in the district.
More responses to comments attributed to the Environmental Protection Agency's top official about Alaska. We told you yesterday that North Pole Mayor Bryce Ward had written to EPA Administrator Gina McCarthy asking for an apology. She reportedly told the Wall Street Journal that during her trip to Alaska last August, she was chased down by North Pole officials who gave her a, quote, dinky North Pole pin and gave her a jar of moose meat that would, quote, gag a maggot. Ward said he gave her the pin as a token of appreciation for her visiting the interior. Congressman Don Young said McCarthy's words sound like they come from someone who has contempt for, rather than an appreciation of, the rich customary traditions of Alaska's people. Senator Lisa Murkowski called McCarthy's comments a mistreatment of Alaska's culture.
This is not coming from some random bureaucrat who's never been to Alaska. This was from a cabinet secretary. It just demonstrates, again, a lack of understanding. It was an unforgivable statement, I think.
All I would like at this point is an apology to the city of North Pole and North Pole residents and to the state of Alaska. When you're in a position of authority, such as the administrator is, you need to be respectful to the communities that you're out there working with, and I don't think this is very respectful at all.
The Alaska Department of Labor and Workforce Development Friday issued the unemployment figures for January. The rate was 6.4% compared to 6.5% in December. The rate in Fairbanks was 6.7% in January compared to 5.4% in December. Almost all areas saw increasing rates, which is normal for this time of year. The only areas that saw rates decline were those with winter fisheries like Kodiak and the Aleutian Burrows. Alaska's rate remains below the national rate for now. January marked the 56th month in a row that it's been below the national rate, but that could change soon with the national rate just 0.2 of a point above that. The highest rate in the state came in southeast Alaska in the Hoonah and Goon census area at 26%. The lowest rate came in the North Slope borough at 4.3%. Alaska would have roughly a 25% equity share in a major liquefied natural gas project under a bill advanced by the Senate Finance Committee. The rewritten bill sets a tax rate at 13% of the gross value at the beginning of the production, beginning in 2022. That, with royalties, determines the state's equity share. The bill would have the Alaska Gasline Development Corporation carry the state's interest in liquefaction and marine terminal facilities rather than creating a new subsidiary to do that, as Governor Sean Parnell proposed. The committee also added language that would allow for a portion of the state's revenue from the project to be put to a fund to support energy projects in communities that don't have direct access to the gas line. The Fairbanks North Star Borough Assembly has approved building up to 20 bus stop shelters in Fairbanks and in North Pole. The first 5 shelters will go up this summer and are projected to cost around $30,000, with another $15,000 to $19,000 added for 5 shelters that will have electricity. The powers for lighting and for reader boards or TV monitors, alerting bus riders of their bus's destination, similar to the ones that can be found on campus. Transportation officials say nearly 50 stops are in need of a shelter. When we come back, the Alaska Senate unanimously passes a sweeping crime bill, and new technology is showcased at the annual meeting of the Tanana Chiefs Conference. We'll have those stories and much more when the weekend's only local televised newscast returns. Stay with us. Welcome back. During the annual meeting for the Tanana Chiefs Conference, the health director for the Chief Andrew Isaac Health Center showcased new technology that left the audience in awe. News Center 11's Tyson Paris-Hansen has more.
We would like to do an EKG based on your symptoms.
At TCC's annual convention, representatives from Chief Andrew Isaac Health Clinic showed how they could be soon providing care in the villages.
My name is Dale Welsh. I'm a physician assistant at Chief Andrew Isaac Health Center in the Family Medicine Clinic. I will be working with Mary Malamute in the Kayakuk Clinic this morning.
This was a demonstration of the telemed service the clinic is developing. The video was not pre-recorded. It was live between Fairbanks and Koyukuk Clinic, about a 2-hour flight away.
Let's start out by using the otoscope camera, and let's take a look inside of Vanessa's left ear.
Okay, I'm looking in her left ear.
All right, thank you, Mary. So I have a good image, and this ear does look normal.
This was a staged appointment, but it showed how the clinic could prescribe medication immediately without the patient needing to fly to Fairbanks. A huge improvement from the past.
We're going to be able to stop that visit. You don't need to pay the $500 for that ticket unless if you want to. And you don't need to have to come to town and go to the clinic. I want you to be able to see the doctor out there, come to town when you want to, and do whatever the heck you want, not sit in the clinic for 2 or 3 hours.
Tyson Paris-Hansen, News Center 11.
The Alaska legislature has rejected proposed pay increases for the governor, lieutenant governor, and Maine department heads. The House voted 38-0 Friday to reject the recommendations of the State Officers Compensation Commission. Senate Bill 125 passed the Senate 19-0 last month. The commission proposed the increases as a way for those positions to catch up with pay increases for other executive branch employees, but some legislators said in light of budget constraints, the increases were not appropriate at this time. Governor Sean Parnell had already said he would decline a pay increase for himself. Doi Unlimited hosted their annual meeting of shareholders yesterday at the Westmark Fairbanks Hotel. During the day-long event, many topics were covered, including an election of 5 board members. Other topics discussed was suicide awareness and prevention in both youth and adults in the rural Alaskan villages. Tanana 4-H group paired with Careline to provide an outlet for teens to discuss those hard-hitting issues and provide them with both youth and adult role models.
Erickson, she's with from the village of Tanana, and she is with the 4-H group there, and they're very passionate about suicide awareness and prevention, and they've partnered with the Careline, and they've created a poster, and they're being invited to speak all over the state for the work that they're doing. Opportunity for our youth from interior Alaska to see role models. We also had a younger shareholder of the year who talked a bit about bullying and what he's done to overcome it.
With the possibility of building an expensive prison within the 3 years staring them in the face, the Alaska Senate unanimously passed a sweeping crime bill Friday in the hopes of stemming Alaska's rising inmate population. The measure's sponsor, Senate Majority Leader John Coghill of Fairbanks, says the bill was a bipartisan effort. Alaska has one of the highest incarceration rates in the nation, costing state residents $58,000 a year to house 1 inmate. Coghill says just putting people in jail does not make Alaska safer. 2/3 of the state's inmate population is behind bars for non-violent crimes. It's time once again for another spotlight on one of the 20 agencies that make up the United Way of the Tanana Valley. Here is the News Center's Mike Schultz.
The Interior Alaska Center for Nonviolent Living, or IAC, has been in the community since 1977 as a rape crisis hotline. They eventually expanded into a domestic violence shelter, a transitional housing unit, permanent supportive housing, and services for abused children. They are a multifaceted agency trying to address every issue of wellness they can. Executive Director Brenda Stanfill says her agency's vision is to basically see that the community is free of violence. And the United Way of the Tanana Valley makes that happen.
The United Way each year is able to assist us in paying just our general operating by the generous contributions of Fairbanks. So without United Way dollars, we don't have quite enough to pay our fuel bills, as everyone knows, and we have to buy food. We have sometimes roughly 75 people here a night that need food and services, and so just our general operating expenses are pretty high, and we really rely on United Way dollars to fund that.
I asked Brenda what she was most proud of for how her agency contributes to the community.
We serve a lot of different people in the community in a lot of different ways, but I think our proudest thing here is that we're able to provide services in a way that's respectful and non-judgmental. We were gifted this wonderful building, and because of that, we're able to offer families their own room. They don't have to share with people. We want them to continue living and working their jobs and doing what they did because they're out of their home for a reason that they really have no control over.
During her 18 years with IAC, what does Brenda feel is her most rewarding and fulfilling moment?
You know, that would have to be the day we saw a mom reunited with her children that she had not been able to see in quite some time. The court system can be very challenging. This particular mom did not have an attorney and ended up losing custody. And it was a 2-year battle in order to be able to be reunited with her children and be able to see them. And that was a moving day for all of us.
The United Way of the Tanana Valley campaign is coming to an end soon, but there's still time for you to donate. And remember, all donations stay within the community. Mike Schultz, News Center 11.
Michael Ives is up next with sports. He has highlights from the last night's UAV versus UAA playoff hockey game. Also, the Nanook rifle team concludes their season at the NCAA Championships. Stay with us for sports after the break.
Welcome back, Alaska. Michael Ives here with your Saturday sports. It's another busy weekend in sports with the 2014 Arctic Winter Games on our doorstep, but we start at the Carlson Center with playoff hockey action from last night. The Nanooks had a chance to sweep the UAA Seawolves right out of the playoffs and back to Anchorage last night at the Carlson Center after winning Game 1 of their WCHA Best-of-3 series on Thursday night. The Seawolves found themselves in a must-win game on the road against a banged-up Nanook team looking to seal the deal. It would be typical playoff hockey throughout the night as both teams scrapped and clawed in a physical contest. The Nanooks would end up taking an early lead as Captain Colton Beck dishes to defensiveman Colton Pareko at the blue line, and he uncorks a blistering shot past the UAA keeper. The assist also puts Beck at 100 career points as an Alaska Nanook. With an 0-1 deficit and looking at 40 minutes until their season was over, the Seawolves would respond. UAA's leading scorer Matt Bailey would knot the game at 1 on his wrister past Sean Cahill just 3 minutes into the second period. UAA would then take the lead as Soldotna native Brad Dewey taps in a puck in front of the net just a minute and a half after Bailey's tally. The Seawolves would hold the 2-1 lead for the remainder as the Nanooks were stonewalled on every attempt at the night. Rob Gunderson would make 25 saves on 26 shots faced, and UAA forces a deciding Game 3 tonight at the Carlson Center.
You know, you get into these types of games, they're tight like this, it's going to come down to capitalizing on the chances you get because they're not coming all the time and making good on them, or minimizing your mistakes. At this point, it's about one more game here, and it's about resetting, putting the right mindset in your mind of what it's going to take to win tomorrow. So put this one behind us. That's what playoffs are about, short memories and focusing in on what's in front of you. And that was the message to the team. Let's put it behind us, let's get reset, and let's go play another week tomorrow.
The Mushers Hall on Farmers Loop is home this weekend to the limited North American Championship sled dog races. The event features sprint races in ski juring and sleds with dog teams of 4, 6, 8, and 10 pulling. Today saw the 6-dog sprint races at the Jeff Studdert Race Grounds. The slightly cooler temperatures today made for crisp trails and clean running for the competitors. Today's races set up final heats tomorrow back out at Mushers Hall. Kim Wells stepped out of the ski jur skis today and led her 6-dog team to a time several seconds faster than yesterday's run on the 6.2-mile course. She says it's been a good weekend leading to a big Sunday and that her teammates really came through for her today.
The trail doesn't seem necessarily any faster to me today. In fact, I actually thought it was that we were slower today, which is surprising. I had a leader not pulling so good and a wheel dog that was bouncy tug, so I'm actually real surprised at the time and proud of them, very proud of the dogs, but not expected.
The Limited North American sets up next weekend's Open North American races right here in Fairbanks. It also sets up the start of the 2014 Arctic Winter Games. Competitors have been arriving from all around the world for next week's events. The Arctic Winter Games will feature sports from dog mushing to badminton and everything in between. That's a lot. Opening ceremonies are scheduled for 6 p.m. Sunday night at the Carlson Center. Events will be held literally all across town next week, and the news center will have highlights and coverage of the events throughout the week. The games will be fast and furious as they run from Monday through close next Saturday. Today marks the final day of competition in the 2014 NCAA Swim Championships in Geneva, Ohio. Senior Bente Heller added another All-American nod in the 100 backstroke with a 7th place finish. Heller was the defending champ in that event, but her finish gave her a 4th All-American spot in this weekend's NCAA Championships. And it makes 13 career All-American selections for her as a Nanook. Alaska had gained 8 All-American selections through the first 3 days of competition. The Nanooks head into the final day of swimming in 11th place out of 38 total teams. They will look for a monumental top 10 finish with today's heats. The Nanook rifle season is now officially done after wrapping up the 2014 NCAA Championships earlier today in Murray, Kentucky. Alaska takes the silver as they finish the overall team standings in 2nd place. It came down to air rifle scores today, and Alaska would finish 3rd in air rifle with a score of 23-56. That score added to the small bore score of 23-21 gives the Nanooks 4,677 total points, just 2 points ahead of the 3rd place school, Kentucky. While the Nanooks unfortunately do not add to their crazy 10-time national title count, they did get to see sophomore Tim Sherry crowned as the small bore individual national champion this weekend. West Virginia ends up repeating as team national champs with an overall score of 4,705 and had 2 of the top 3 scores in air gun today to close the meet. Next year's NCAA Rifle Championships will be held right here in Fairbanks, Alaska. That's all the time we have for sports tonight. Be right back here Monday at 6 for Joe Cook as he recaps the weekend and gets you ready for the sports week to come. As always, you can get more KTVF sports on Twitter, YouTube, webcenter11.com, or you can download our mobile app. Keep on keeping on, Alaska. Stick around for Holly Seiler and your full weather forecast coming up next.
So it's kind of exciting that the Arctic Winter Games are finally approaching. I feel like we've been talking about it for a really long time now.
Yeah, we've been wearing the gear around the station and everything. We've got the media passes and excitement's here. It's going to be fun. There's just an awful lot going on. It's Sunday night opening ceremonies, and then Monday through Saturday, it's just constant and everywhere.
And we'll have a live truck there as well.
That's right.
So that'll be really cool. You can tune in and watch us. But we're going to get right into weather. Here's our almanac for March 15th. It shows a normal high of 25 degrees and a normal low of 4 below. The record high was set in 1933 at 45 degrees, and the record low of 46 below zero was set in 1964. The sun rose this morning at 8:08 a.m. and will set tonight at 7:53 p.m. It's going to give us almost 12 hours of daylight, a 6-minute gain since yesterday. Here's weather around our great state today. Barrow is overcast. Fort Yukon is cloudy. It's also cloudy in Nome with a single-digit high. Fairbanks is partly cloudy today and super sunny. Healy is also sunny. Delta is partly cloudy. It's raining in Juneau. Ketchikan will see some rain as well with cloudy skies. Bethel is also cloudy. Cold Bay could feel up to 40-mile-per-hour wind today with up to 3 inches of snow expected. Kodiak and Homer are partly cloudy. Valdez is sunny, and Anchorage is looking up to partly cloudy skies. On to our friends in the lower 48. Seattle is cloudy with some rain, highs in the high 60s. It's clear in Las Vegas, highs in the high 70s. Billings could fill up to 30-mile-per-hour wind with sunny skies. Partly cloudy skies are projected in Denver with highs in the high 40s. 20-mile-per-hour wind moving over Minneapolis with cloudy skies and a high in the low 30s. A 1/4 inch of rain is expected in Atlanta with highs in the high 60s. Late night snow flurries are expected this afternoon in New York with highs in the high 50s. And sunny skies for Miami, highs in the low 80s. Back in Alaska, Fort Yukon is expected to see partly cloudy skies tomorrow, mostly cloudy skies for Barrow. Nome could see up to 30-mile-per-hour wind with some light snow showers. And it's expected to be another really sunny day in Fairbanks tomorrow, while Healy will look up to mostly cloudy skies and partly cloudy skies will move over Delta. Light rain showers are expected in Juneau tomorrow, while Ketchikan will see a nasty mix of rain and snow. 30-mile-per-hour wind projected for Cold Bay with that bad mix of rain and snow. 30-mile-per-hour wind in Bethel as well with snow showers, and 35-mile-per-hour wind in Kodiak with 3 inches of snow expected. Homer could see up to 1 inch of snow accumulation tomorrow with 20-mile-per-hour wind. Valdez is going to see some snow as well with up to 3 inches of accumulation expected, and Anchorage is expected to be mostly cloudy tomorrow with highs in the mid-20s. And this is our overnight low in the Fairbanks area, 7 degrees below zero with some light wind and mostly cloudy skies. And we're in for another beautiful day tomorrow, highs in the mid-20s with an overnight low of 5 degrees for Sunday night. And here's our extended forecast for the upcoming work week. There isn't a negative sign to be found. We'll start out the week with highs in the high 30s, and although we will slowly cool off, we're still looking at above normal temperatures for this time of year, varying partly cloudy to clear skies until next Saturday. So always kind of good news when we don't see those little dashes in front of our
It looks nice.
temperatures.
Sunshine, warm. It's a great chance to get out, and you start feeling lively this time of year, don't you?
Yeah,
You're
like
just
we finally
ready.
all woke up.
Ready for something to happen. Well, there's a lot happening,
And
so
there
it's
is.
great.
Yeah.
Great time of year.
This is going to wrap up this edition of the Fairbanks Evening News. We're really glad you could join us.
Remember, you can join us here 6 days a week at 6 and 11 or online anytime at webcenter11.com.
From all of us here at the News Center, have a great night.